Welcome to Sync Mind. For a better experience, please use headphones.
Take the best out of it. Like, in drug industry they say, even the best drug has a side effect. That does not mean when you need it, you don't take medicine. Side effect will be there. When I watch TV, it has its own problems, but it has its goodness also. As a wise person, I must pick what is best for me. There are many good children who understand that this is good for me, this is not good for me. They know what to do. Only thing is that they're learning through their own experiences. Have we, in our youth days, I know you are quite youthful, but me, myself, I'm a 60-year-old fogey, but I think we all had to go through our own natural experiences as we move on in life. Things that we do today as youth, would you allow your child to do it? Ask yourself this question. If you are SMSing your girlfriend or boyfriend under the quilt till 2 o'clock, or surfing internet to the sites where you're not supposed to visit, things of that nature, reading unsavory books, you have experienced all this perhaps in your youth. Would you allow your child to do this? Then why do it yourself? Why torture your parents when you will not allow such a scenario in your child's future? So one has to drink one's own medicine. One has to project oneself as a youth and say, would you permit your child to do this? Today, the enemies are not outside your house. Enemy is the bedroom. Every child has a separate bedroom. That bedroom has become the enemy. The enemies come from outside, through internet, through SMS, through phone, all kinds of stuff. They are more vulnerable in the privacy of their own bedroom, where parents have no idea what they are doing. Perhaps they know it, but they have no courage to say, because they themselves are doing something else in another bedroom. Who knows? So one has to create an environment. One has to become example per se if you want youth to follow your footsteps. You cannot say to a child, please meditate, when child has never seen you meditating. In fact, the scenario is reverse. When I have attended, recently International Youth Conference at Hyderabad, Heartfulness Institute arranged it. NSS and NYKS people also joined us with great spirit. The youth today is different. They're more and more inclined towards spiritualism. I was very surprised to see that. More and more youth are saying, okay, I like to meditate. But what if my father sees me meditating? They don't trust their parents so much for doing good things. Girls are saying, if I meditate, my mother scolds me. You'll become a sadhvi or something. So I think the problems are of a different nature. Youth should be encouraged to do what is right. Not go on criticizing things, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. Even though you may tell them, don't do this. Have they learnt? Have they ever heard you? Why waste your words? In fact, be example, inspire them to do rightful things, adopt lifestyle, so youth can learn something out of that. Share jokes with them. Don't go on preaching all the time. Share nice stories to them. It is not that when the child has gone to beyond primary, now you stop reading stories. Even 30-year-old son or a daughter would love to hear a beautiful story from parents. Share a joke with them. Never be a preacher all your life to a child. They don't like it. They have to walk in our footsteps, but I had to make the right footsteps. Take, for example, grandparents. They have nothing much to do but sit around the couch and watch TV. They are watching all morning to evening till they go to sleep, one episode after another episode. Parents do the same thing. What do you expect child to do? So one has to become an example. It's not just TV, but many things they can learn. Also, many bad things can be learned, many good things can be learned. We have to regulate our lifestyle. If you want a good crop out of you, you have to regulate it. Not just the genetic pattern will affect them, but how I regulate my life. They will see us. See, if they see the same thing outside, inside also house the same thing, friends, parents also doing the same thing. So they don't find themselves doing the same thing and feel guilty about it. See, we talked about samskaras earlier. Good samskaras, bad samskaras. Good samskaras formed by good actions, good thoughts, good habits, and likewise the bad ones. Which is our own creation. I do something, or I think of something, creates a habit. But TVs, for example, I am not even part of it. I am watching some act, for example. I become part of it. See? And when I'm ruminating over something, when I'm not doing anything, that haunts me. And especially when you are quietly trying to sleep and suddenly that horror story comes to your mind, or some scenarios where somebody is being raped, or some scenario where somebody is being murdered. You go through that movie within yourself. You had nothing to do with that act. You did not act. You did not think of it. But that has influenced your life so much. So it is up to us what to pick from it. So the onus of impressing things in life can be screened through the filter of our consciousness. We can allow certain things to pass. We can choose also what to filter from the consciousness screen. And that needs a slight training, that's all, mental training through meditation. I highly recommend this. Everybody meditated. Have you seen Lord Shiva's picture, photograph? And what about Lord Krishna, Yoga Purusha, that famous figure where he's meditating? All major gods and goddesses, you see, they're in a meditative pose. Do you ever think upon whom are they meditating? Why do they meditate? If they were thinking that they were self-sufficient, where was the need to meditate? Yet they meditated. If Avtara Purusha can meditate, if a Bhakta like Hanumanji can meditate, if Lord Shiva could meditate, when they found it so important in their life to meditate, how can we say meditation is not necessary in today's life? In fact, it is more necessary than ever before. If you want to regulate your mind, control yourself, and do the rightful thing. That is our innate nature, to do the right thing. See, I give you a few examples also, based on my observation. There are many friends who have established families, their children. When they were growing up, my friend says, whenever we meditated before, children woke up from their sleep. They would wake up, let's say 6 o'clock in the morning, mother and father meditates. Afterward, when children wake up, they wake up with smile. But the day they don't meditate, children wake up cranky, crying. Why? And when we observe this scenario with almost all parents, we see that meditation already creates an atmosphere of peace and tranquility, which is absorbed by children. So the onus is upon us. The responsibility of creating the right environment is upon us. It is not just behaving rightfully, but doing things secretly, quietly, in your own private room, meditating. But it has impact all over, not just in your bedroom or in your house, but people who are associated with you. For example, your child may be studying in a hostel, but a mere thought of your child or a child thinking of you when you are meditating or you have meditative state, it's like osmosis between two lovers. Distance doesn't matter. Most people, when they're on the crossroads, for example, often I get the request when they're in 10th and 12th grade. What line should I choose? Which college should I go? After graduation, should I do my master's, or should I get married or settle down? Things like that. And after some time, friends are there. They have so many acquaintances, and so, uncle, whom should I marry? See, things like that. See? Now, the problem is when you have too many choices, it creates a big problem. Not that having a one limited choice is not going to be a problem. There are two. I have to make a conscious decision that with which my heart can be convinced that yes, this is the rightful thing to do. Be it a cell phone purchase, or a watch, or choosing a degree, or a profession, or marrying someone. Everything requires heart. Now, let me explain to you this in a very simple way. To choose between right and wrong, it is very easy. How? We hardly know when it is right, but we will definitely know when it is wrong. See, for example, when I am seeing things normally, when I am smelling things normally, when I am hearing things normally, or while having dinner or lunch, suddenly I lose taste. Oh, the sugar is tasting like something else. Or I'm not able to hear something, or I'm not able to see things. These are all unnatural things, something that's gone wrong with my senses. See? Body has the inner signals. Oh, I'm not able to hear properly. Something is wrong. But when you can see properly, hear properly, your heart doesn't congratulate you. In India, congratulations, today you are seeing things properly. It doesn't congratulate us for rightful things. Precisely, instead of saying that you are Vindhya and you say, I am Sushila, you have to make efforts in saying that you are Sushila. In doing wrong things, you need to make efforts. To do right things, you'll never have to make an effort. It's a very simple thing to understand. When even a child of 2 years, when he drops his glass of milk, he understands, oh, something has gone wrong. He starts crying. But an adult dropping a glass and trying to hide the glass pieces underneath some carpet, that is adult corrupt mind. He's trying to hide his mistakes. Child will not do that. He'll cry and seek mother's help. Adult would try to hide the mistakes if he is not the right person. Right person or integrated person. So it is easy to find what is right and what is wrong based on this principle that anything that can be wrong, heart will always know it. Make an effort to obey it with courage. When we have to, let us say, do wrong things, then you need a lot of manipulations, a lot of secret games that you have to play, which are all unnatural. So this is how we fool ourselves. Though you may be successful in doing wrong things, but your heart knows it, your subconscious knows it. And more layers of complexities we create around our soul, more darkness. The light that would have come from the soul, now we have created one complexity, another complexity, third complexity. And slowly, the heart over a period of time stops giving signals. Signals will become weaker and weaker. But a person who keeps following each signal, heart will always give better and better signals, louder and clearer. More and more you try to subdue your heart, it will only fail. Choosing a life partner, also the same game. You know with the first glance, this is not the right person. But then you try to convince, oh, he has a Ferrari, he has a Mercedes, his parents are rich, I must marry him. Now you're trying to justify. But when a person is right, even if he's poor, your heart will say, yes, I must marry this person. But not just now, it has always been, even in the past. See, likes, they come together. Rich families come together. They never mingle with the class, various classes. That's the failure of the society. See. If only love could prevail, I don't think there would have been so much of unrest in this modern world. I think today's youth is, more ready than the times I had in my youthful days. They are quite prepared. They are trying. I think they are ready to try out something very scientific. When we talk of God, etc., they don't like it perhaps. Few may like it. But when you talk of scientific approach to spirituality, with their scientific mind, modern mind, they would definitely embrace scientific way of approaching God. See. There must be a marriage of science and spirituality. Without that, I don't think today's youth will be convinced. They need explanations, they need experience, they need proof. We are ready to offer that proof. This Heartfulness meditation takes care of all these problems. If you sit without this transmission and with transmission, there is a big difference. There is a reduction of thoughts. Secondly, what troubles us when we meditate? We have either good thoughts or bad thoughts or absolutely irrelevant thoughts. When we have good thoughts, it's like a chain reaction. One thing leading to the another thing, to the third thing. But there is also equally bad. When there is a bad thought, you say, oh no, please don't come now during this meditation. And you struggle trying to stop it. My Guruji used to say, you have eyes, you have ears, you have nose. They have their own functions. Eyes are to see, nose is to smell, ears are to hear things. So is mind to think. You cannot arrest the process of thinking. You must regulate. Mind is your best friend. People think it's your enemy. No. Once this mind is regulated, it becomes your best friend. And with the regulated mind, you can do so many things. Problem is in the training. Right Guru will help you to regulate the mind with this technique of transmission. Training needs time. Sometimes a month, 2 months, 3 months, sometimes 3 years. It depends upon how fast you want to go. How fast you want to go is determined by how restless you are to achieve the highest. How fast you want to become perfect. How fast you want to evolve your consciousness. You know that killer's attitude, killer's mind, we must apply towards spirituality. I must have it, hook or crook, I must have it. That passion must be there. Only youth can have such a passion. And youth, if Swami Vivekananda was here today, he would have said, I love this youth. I can do a lot of work with this youth because they are passionate about things. Just there is a need of changing the direction. That's all. From this way to that way. And they'll be the peaceful warriors of God. Just follow their heart, meditate, get the guidance from within your heart. It's very simple, very simple. I hope I'm not sounding too easy or too simplistic. I have seen through, I have experienced all these things. I've been practicing since 1976 under this system. And I can tell you one thing, there is never a moment of disappointment. There's always excitement, there's euphoria, there is joy, there is immense happiness, there is poise, there is peace, there is bliss and much beyond all these things. Choice is yours, how fast you want to move. That's all I can say.